Oscar Clifton spent 38 years in prison and died behind bars, convicted of the 1975 murder of Donna Jo Richmond, a 14-year-old girl from Exeter, California.
I can tell you one thing, I'll never be on a jury. I'll never convict anybody. I don't trust the judges, the lawyers, or anybody. I never believed he was guilty. I wouldn't have married him if I really believed that he, actually did it. But getting to know him as a person, he couldn't have done that. He loved his kids.
Oscar remarried while in prison, and although his second wife stood by him, she never told her family about his conviction and kept his identity a secret, so she asked us not to show her face. Clifton's children couldn't avoid the stigma. In 1976, small-town life was grim for them, especially for his daughters, with their father in jail, facing a death sentence, accused of brutally murdering a girl just about their age.
I was a very shy person. I had 2 friends there. So almost immediately they started saying that, oh, that's the murderer's daughter. Calling names. And one of the boys, I didn't realize he was there, and he came up behind me, grabbed me from behind, had his hand across my breast, and a knife to my neck. And told me that he should do the same thing that my father had done to her.
Once Clifton got convicted, the judgment and whispers continued. As they grew older, the children did all they could to move on.
A lot of regret. I joined the military to get away, and I didn't really come back that often, but I could have made the effort to see him when I did come back, and I didn't.
My children didn't even know about this until about a year ago. It didn't matter if he was innocent. I didn't want them to grow up feeling like they had a grandfather in prison.
Even though Oscar Clifton was convicted and served almost 40 years in prison for the murder of Donna Jo Richmond, many people have had questions and have suspected for decades that perhaps Oscar Clifton was innocent. One of the main reasons is because around the same time that Donna Jo Richmond was murdered, the Visalia Ransacker was terrorizing this community.
The answer has always been in Sacramento.
In 2018, 5 years after Clifton's death, Sacramento Sheriff deputies arrested 72-year-old Joseph James DeAngelo in Citrus Heights, near Sacramento. He's suspected to be California's most prolific serial rapist and killer.
DAngelo has been called a lot of things by law enforcement. He's been called the East Side Rapist. He's been called the Visalia Ransacker, the original Night Stalker, and the Golden State Killer.
My son, who lives in Monterey, is on the phone. And he said, Mom, they caught him. And I said, what? They caught the East Area Rapist. And I said, is he the Visalia Ransacker? If it's the Visalia Ransacker, then it's over. Then we know it was who killed Donna.
So you thought...
I thought it was over. Yeah, exonerated.
DeAngelo is suspected of burglarizing hundreds of homes, raping at least 50 women, and killing at least 13 people. The oldest crime he was charged with is a murder attributed to the Visalia Ransacker, who was active in Visalia between 1974 and 75, breaking into homes, attacking teenage girls, killing the father of one of them, and even shooting at a police officer. At the time, DeAngelo lived and worked as a police officer in Exeter, where Donna Jo Richmond was from and where she was killed.
When DeAngelo was captured, what were your thoughts? Did you think about Oscar?
I was hoping that he was the one that might confess that he killed Donna Jo.
After DeAngelo's arrest, the Tulare County DA's office reviewed the conviction of Oscar Clifton.
The DeAngelo story started breaking, and this is something we've known. Oscar Clifton has come up numerous times for some sort of review in the office. It was a well-known case. I knew about it, and when we had an actual name to go with a number of cases around here that I can't get into, we decided, well, we now have a DNA profile, and let's just run that profile and see what happens.
The first person DeAngelo is suspected of murdering was Claude Snelling, the father of 16-year-old Beth Snelling. The Visalia Ransacker had been stalking her, One night, he finally broke into her home, tried to kidnap her, and shot and killed her father when he intervened. John Vaughn investigated that case.
We worked that case and nothing else for 8 straight months. The time of the 8 months, we ended up driving more miles, making more phone calls, working more overtime, contacting more people, trying to catch the suspect, who was called the Visalia Ransacker.
You know, when you look at the events of Donna Jo Richmond, of Jennifer Armour, and of Beth Snelling, what you have is 3 girls who are essentially all in the same age range, 14, 15, 16 years old. Beth Snelling and Jennifer Armour went to the same school. They went to Mount Whitney High School together.
The body of Jennifer Armour, the teen murdered in 1974, was found along the same canal that ran by the orchard where Donna Jo's body was found in Exeter a year later. Tulare County sheriffs named Clifton as a suspect, but his family said he was living out of state at the time.
She disappears in Visalia on November 15th, 74. One is immediately in the canal, the other is immediately next to the canal. Both are in orange groves, and they both end up in locations where they were transported. They were both missing on a Friday night. They're 13 months apart, and there aren't any other homicides like this in Tulare County.
Tulare County sheriffs have even named DAngelo as a suspect in the Jennifer Armour case. Although her body was found in Exeter, Armour was last seen in Visalia, where she lived, and just blocks away from the home of Beth Snelling, whose father was murdered by the ransacker.
The location is the last known location where Jennifer Armour was seen. The most recent VR hits were 2 to 3 blocks from that location where Jennifer last was.
In multiple East Area rapist cases in Sacramento, police reports show him placing evidence from one crime scene at the homes of neighbors and at other crime scenes, in some cases suspectedly trying to frame neighbors. What led officers directly to Clifton was an invoice book of his found next to Donna's bicycle at the abduction scene, and her clothes were scattered on a road leading to his home. The East Area rapist was also known to leave soda or beer cans wiped off of fingerprints at the scene, like the ones found near Donna Jo's bike. And then there was the ski mask. Perhaps the most conspicuous connection with the ransacker and the East Area rapist cases was a ski mask that police found in the orchard near Donna Jo's body. East Area rapist victims described him wearing a ski mask during his attacks, and police reports showed that Beth Snelling, the 16-year-old attacked by the ransacker 3 months before Donna's murder, described her attacker as, quote, wearing a ski mask, black in color, with white stripes completely around it, and all she could see was his eyes. The framing theory assumes the Visalia ransacker left a known piece of ransacker evidence by Donna's body, so police would connect all of the ransacker crimes back to Clifton. The mask from the Richmond case was ordered destroyed within a year of Clifton's conviction, along with most of the evidence from the case, as ordered by the lead investigator, Bob Bird, who arrested Clifton in '65 and in '75, and who knew Clifton from before.
All of his behavior indicates that he was trying to hide something. How much? That's a question that only he can answer.
He did answer by denying what multiple records and testimony show.
I understand from some records that a lot of the evidence was destroyed less than a year after the trial ended, and that it was authorized by you, the destruction of this evidence. Can you tell me why that was?
Well, it wasn't done. I would never ordered any evidence in any case ever destroyed.
Okay.
Wouldn't do that. And wouldn't do that in a murder case, because a murder case is always subject to be tried again, as long as the person's alive. So why you want to destroy your evidence? That'd be idiotic.
Is it normal that they would destroy all this evidence right after
I wouldn't have done
trial?
it. So that's not how we do it today.
Was it common practice then to destroy evidence
I don't
right
know.
after the trial?
I have no idea.
Clifton was facing death. Destroying evidence which could have been essential to his appeal is illegal now and was illegal then. Farrell Ward worked with DeAngelo when both were police officers in Exeter. Ward said DeAngelo was the lead detective in the department, which meant he could have collaborated with the Tulare County Sheriff's Office, the agency that investigated the Donna Jo Richmond murder.
You could cover up anything you wanted to, being an investigator, you know. Oh yeah, the guys, they talk all the time about, you know, different cases, what's going on, and policemen, they share each other information, and that's how we catch the guys, you know.
So him as an Exeter police officer, he could have had all the information he needed.
Oh yeah.
We can't know how involved, informed, or collaborative DeAngelo would have been on the Richmond case. We don't know if he knew Bird or any of the detectives investigating the Donna Jo Richmond murder. But we do know Bird went to work on the case that night at the Exeter police station where DeAngelo worked. We also know from property records and other neighbors' accounts that Joseph James DeAngelo was neighbors with Bob Bird.
So this is DeAngelo's house?
Correct.
And what you're saying is
We go
one,
2 houses down.
2,
Yep.
and this third house.
Correct. How did they spend essentially a year and a half is the minimum amount of time that we have for these 2 people to be in this proximity.
And they were both detectives.
Do you remember a man by the name of Joseph James DeAngelo, the man who now is suspected to be the Golden State Killer?
I've never heard of him till I heard on the news.
Okay, so you don't remember him from living about 2 houses down from where you lived at the time on Peach Street?
Never lived down from me.
Okay, you don't remember him then. I understand.
I don't remember ever seeing him. Even though I lived in Exeter, I never knew him.
Did you have any doubts when they caught him, due to the nature of the case, that perhaps he was the one who could have killed Donna Jo?
No, I don't think he had anything to do with it. The evidence didn't point that way.
John Vaughn, who worked the Visalia Ransacker cases, has a different opinion about DeAngelo.
Do you have suspicions that it could have been him?
Yeah,
What makes you think that?
because that's what I know now. I mean, he's done it. He did it before, and he's done it after.
Do you think he was capable of framing someone?
Sure, police officers are framing people all the time.